Alright, less than a half hour in, everything's way easier to get to. It's just going to be kind of deciding what needs to come off. I mean, really anything that's on the head needs to come off. Alright, really getting into it. I got the turbo off, pulled the harness stuff. The hold downs for the injectors are out, but I'm just kind of letting them chill. I really should put something over the holes for them to keep chunks of dirt and stuff out, but yeah, I'll do that in a minute. It's this intake support, this big triangle in there, and that one in the back I can't get to, but I found a 3/8 fits that E12 nice and tight. So I'm hoping I can just slip that over it. Come on, buddy. Yeah, there we go. And then, oh, lucky me, I forgot to tighten those down. So that might have been more difficult. I wonder what else I forgot to tighten. Did I tighten the head bolts? How funny would that be? They were leaking into the oil if I didn't do that. Look at my wrench is stuck. I need another hand. Okay, back at it. Harness out of the way, hoses are out of the way. I think I have everything detached. There might be a sensor under there in the back. I don't remember. Like some kind of intake air bullshit. I'm gonna have to look around. I did bring the scope so I can stick that in there and look and just make sure there's nothing else. But I think really last thing I need to do is pull the vacuum pump, pull the fuel pump, because those are both on the head, get the plate off, injectors out, valve cover off, and I can deal with timing belt bullshittery. I'll rotate the engine so that those two dots are together. That way at least I know the bottom end's where it needs to be. And then try to pull this thing off as one piece. I'm going to leave the intake, fuel rail, thermostat, all that stuff on the head. It's just easier to deal with out. And if I have to, I'll grab the cherry picker and just lift it that way. But I think I'm going to be able to just muscle it out. We'll see. My injector's out. They only were in for 500 miles. So they came out super easy. Now, I thought it was interesting. The one in the back, cylinder, where is it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 5. So that's left to right on the table. Completely coated in oil, actually. So like the whole thing, just oil all the way up it. And that's just the grease settled at the bottom. It wasn't, I don't think it had a leak there, but maybe that seal at the head isn't working right. Who knows? So it might just be from the valve cover and it seeps up. This one was a little wet, but not nearly as bad as that one. So it'll be interesting to see if we can find anything back there. I'm gonna put the scope in there and take a peek as well, but it's charging because I work with degenerates and they never charge it until they need it. That dot's already quite close to where it needs to be, so I'm going to rotate. And actually, if you don't know which engine you rotate, right, the tensioner, which is still installed, is always on the slack side. So if we go clockwise, we're going to be pulling the chain. So this side will be the side that's tight. That's how you know the proper direction if you don't have a manual or it's something you're not familiar with. But we should be able to line those dots up. Oop. Come on, idiot. Did I grab the wrong size? I grabbed the wrong size fucking socket. I'll be back. Right, round 2. 27 millimeter, not 32. But, yep, should come around and then mesh with its buddy. We went a little, no. That's not too far. It's good for what we're doing. So we'll leave those there. Get the cover off. All we gotta do is pop this gear so the chain can drop. And what I'll probably do is shove like a, well, I can't shove anything in there because it needs to come all the way off. Or probably just gonna have to let it fall in. Maybe what would be smart is if when I take the gear off, I'm gonna try to loop a piece of safety wire into those teeth. That way it has a, you know, like getting out of the cave, right? And be able to pull it up without having to fish around too much. Alright, got the cams out, left the timing chain just kind of where it's at. I didn't want to unbolt that intermediate gear yet. I think I have to be able to wiggle this out, but I'll see if I can work around it. It'd be nice not to have to drop that in because it's a pain. Then I took my wrench and hit all the head bolts in the same order you tighten them down, just to double check, because I did take my crappy torque wrench into work and I checked it multiple ways, breakaway torque, all that kind of stuff, against the ones that I keep calibrated there. And we cal them every year, cal angle, all that kind of stuff. So I'm confident the bolts are good. The only one that moved a little bit was this one, and it kind of like right when the wrench clicked, it moved, So I don't think it was under torqued. I think it was fine. It just happened to be right at the ragged edge. So I mean, if we find something when the head's off right near that bolt, then maybe that's all the culprit was. But I really doubt it. So just got to get this chain out of the way, and I can pull the head bolts and figure out whether I can pick this up with my arms or if I'll need to get the hoist. Why not record my attempts to get this gear out? I thought, oh, you know what? I am gonna have to remove the intermediary, because if I don't, then I can't get the head off because it's screws into the head. So let me pull that first. All right, round 2. So this needs to pull out towards me. Yeah, then it drops. That thing. I did this just right last time. I was able to. Yeah, so you can ride it over under the back teeth, and then try to do that a second time to get it all the way off. There we go. And then, oh right, I wanted some safety wire, so when that drops way in, I'll still be able to fish it out. Okay, that'll help a ton, because I can lift the head up, the chain can be all the way in, and I just pass it through to myself. Make sure I don't end up with a bunch of wire in the engine. And then this guy should just shimmy up. There's a little bushing in the center, and if you don't, I'll show you when this is all the way out. Bye-bye chain. If this is sticking out the back like that, it's really difficult to pull up because it like gets in the way of stuff and the front touches. So I just push it in a little bit and it should slide right off the top. And then we got our chain fishing tool. Our guides are in there. We actually have to hold this up so that this guide doesn't get pinched, because they have to be able to flex in as the head comes up and down. So really, ooh, it's deep. Got these 2 small bolts I got to pull out, then the main head bolts, and the whole thing should float out. I'll be having a moment of stupidity here. So I had this magnet that I made a long time ago, just hard drive magnets on this aluminum disc I found in the scrap bin. Turns out it's going to be useful for something finally. So I think there's enough that I can get it to pop off, and it should slide through here once the head's up. So we'll use this to hold the chain. Kind of. Oh yeah, that's perfect. So now these can move. That's out of the way. Everything's unbolted. Kind of want to peek. Have a little looky look. See what head it is? Yeah. It's a head. It's gonna be heavy, isn't it? This is a stupid idea. This is. Oh shit! This is dumb. I'm like terrified that there's something plugged in somewhere that I forgot about, or it's just all the shit in the way. Yeah, I'm out. I'm above the guide. I'll be able to slip a disc in my back. Good. Okay. Should've just got the dang hoist out. I'm too lazy. I'm too lazy to do less work. Oh yeah! That's a big boy. Oh, okay. Fortunately, I was able to find one of the wife's towels, so I have to set the head on the dirty floor. Now, let's take a looky poo. What do we got? Any signs of coolant leakage? Right off the bat, I don't see anything. I mean, there's coolant passages, right? But I don't see. I mean, is all this? Is that it right there? Hold on. So is that where it was actually coming in the cylinder? Or is that from me taking the head off? That's from me taking the head off. Oop. I'll frame it better. Alright. So, yeah, I don't, at least on this side, I don't see anything suspect. Now, when we get the gasket off, it may tell a whole different story, because there's nothing on that side that can get hurt, for sure. It doesn't feel that heavy now. I mean, maybe, right? So it's got all the gray crusties there, But that looks like that was oil that leaked. No, so that was oil that leaked out of that hole. And all it did is collect around there. But maybe that oil collected in there because there was a path. But then there would be, I'd have an oily coolant mix, and my oil looks great. There's no coolant in my oil. I don't see it. I'm gonna have to get it. Well, I'm gonna have to clean this surface up, and then I'm gonna have to get a straight edge and just see if this head's warped. So maybe the head's warped. Maybe I just suck. There's a lot of possibilities. I would have thought for sure if it was leaking on the head side, it would have cut into the aluminum. But this is the same corner that had the goo. Well, it doesn't look great right there. Looks a little chewy. So maybe, yeah, maybe it was right here on the head side. Yeah, see those little cuts? Right where my pinky finger. So right there by that bolt hole, you can see where it was cutting the head a little bit from the combustion gas. So I don't think I can. Well, you can deck these up to like 10 thou. Fuck. I wonder what a shop would charge. Well, maybe this is an indicator, because how easy are those supposed to be to just like peel apart, right? Like that shouldn't be doing that. Do any other ones just like come apart if I peel on them? No. So yeah, for sure. Unless it was a defect with the gasket, but I think probably what happened is this got way too hot with combustion gas cutting through into the coolant. I don't think that should separate so easily just by hand, just by like pulling on it. It doesn't seem right to me. So I think that's it. I think it's the head. Let me get an edge and see how deep those look. Oh, I put the straightest thing I could find on it, and it looks like I'm not low in the middle from what I can tell. But here I can see light through here, but I can't fit a 0.004 inch underneath it. But like I can, those grooves with my finger, and now that I'm looking at it, I think what probably actually happened is that I got a little too aggressive when I was surfacing this, because I wanted to knock down some of these high spots so they didn't get hot, right? Because you know, I'm just stupid, right? Stupid. So I think this is my fault. I think that while I was trying to knock these down, I probably took just barely too much material off here, and it was just enough that it started pooping gases through. So at least it wasn't sucking it in, it wasn't mixing with the oil, anything crazy like that. But if I can't get this resurfaced quickly and for a good price, I'll probably just end up ordering ahead. The shop that I would use isn't open until Monday, so it sucks to have to chill out all weekend. I'd almost want to just order one, but this head is $1,500. The head for that block is $1,800 new. From some company in Spain, and I would go ahead, I would use this head again, because I've already kind of proven that just by use that this head works on both blocks. That way if something happened to that block, at least I'd have a head I can put on whether I go new or not. So yeah, I think if I get this decked, it'll be fine. I'm going to double check the tolerance for that. Everything I read was 0.01. Yeah, I looked around and all the forum guys say 010, which is as much as you can deck off of these, but the more I think about it, I'd rather just order ahead. If I order ahead, get the gaskets that I need to reassemble it, I mean this head has 320,000 miles on it. You know, what are the chances I get it fixed up and then it cracks or something? Like, who knows? This thing's had a spotty history. So I'm going to go ahead and just keep dumping more money into the pit, get a head on order, get gaskets on order. I'm going to do new head studs this time just because, why not? If I'm ordering parts, I'll just do it. And then the heads come with exhaust studs. I don't know if they come with nuts, so maybe I'll get some new nuts for that as well. I'll do a turbo gasket. I don't want to reuse that part, but really, yeah, I can order stuff tonight and then I won't be thinking about it. It'll be out of my mind. It's like, okay, parts are on the way. I can prep everything else, so when the new head gets here, I can put all the stuff on it. I'm gonna lift it back in like this too, because I'm stupid, I think. Because I don't want to have to do these bolts with it in the vehicle. Maybe I'll be a little smarter and I'll get the hoist out for that one. But yeah, that was a costly mistake. Trying to be a little ambitious. Shouldn't have done it. I'll get ahead on order and we'll be back on the road hopefully in a week or two.